All right, folks, welcome back. And coming up, by the way, in the next segment, we're going to be joined by Brian Zimmer. He was a former House Judiciary chief investigator, and he knows inside out the story of the border fence. What border fence? Well, there is some border fence, but how much should there be? How much is there? What was the law as it was written? What does it call for? We're going to get it all from him. I've never really heard this discussed. This man knows everything in that bill. He was there when the law was written and passed. So stay tuned for that. All right, back to the panel. See Edmund Wright and Peter Morici. Gentlemen, I don't know how this is possible, and I have no idea what's going on around here, but Sergeant Bergdahl is going back to active duty reportedly today, or as early as today. Apparently his rehab is done. I don't know what about where the investigation stands. I don't know if they've talked to him. Last I heard, the people who served with him had said nobody talked to any of them. How could they put him back with soldiers when most of those who served with him, if not all, say he deserted? Peter? I'm sorry, let me start with Edmund. Go ahead, Edmund. I'm sorry, Edmund, go ahead.
No, I mean, this is very disturbing. I mean, I think it's quite obviously a PR stunt. I can't claim that I'm a military historian to the point that I know exactly what normal protocol is in this situation. But Steve and Dr. Morici, I'd be shocked if this were anything approaching a normal way to reintegrate someone who had disappeared under these circumstances back into his unit. Esprit de corps and fighting for your buddy is what the U.S. military is based on, and I just don't see how bringing Bergdahl back is consistent with any of that. This cannot end well.
Peter?
Well, absolutely. You know, in these environments, the people in a unit, the platoon or what have you, know that they can absolutely depend on each other, that they have, especially in the United States Army, an absolute commitment. So, you don't leave your wounded comrade in an intersection and run off to save yourself. You go back into that intersection, take the fire, and drag him out. Can you really depend on this person? I don't know what they're thinking at the Pentagon. I don't know what kind of dope they're smoking these days. But whatever brand it is, it should be banned and outlawed. It's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't imagine being a soldier and welcoming this man into the unit, at least to be fair to everybody, Edmund, at least until the investigation's complete and some determination has been made.
Well, yeah, right. In addition to that, there needs to be some time that passes for any sort of healing or trust to be built. I mean, there's no way that this is okay with his comrades now. I mean, it's human nature. It's obvious.
All right, guys, listen, I appreciate you sticking around for segments 1 and 2 of the Malzberg panel. We'll speak to you both soon. Thank you. See Edmund Wright and Peter Morici. And I get that must be. I was shocked when I heard this. I mean, I didn't expect it to be coming, and I guess that's that's my bad. But I just don't know how this man could go back to fighting for his country when all these questions surround his disappearance and his actions and his love of country with the emails he supposedly wrote. Anyway, okay, are we back? Yeah, no, okay. So stick with us, because when we come back, as I said, it's going to be all about the border's fence. In the meantime, though, it's time for this hour's America's Moment, and we take a look back at the miracle on ice. Don't miss it.
History calls it a miracle. The 1980 13th Winter Olympic Games were in full force in Lake Placid, New York. Months earlier, the Soviet troops had invaded Afghanistan, and President Jimmy Carter was threatening to boycott the Summer Olympic Games scheduled to be played in Moscow. But all U.S. Olympic hockey team coach Herb Brooks was thinking about was winning games. His team was the youngest hockey team to ever compete in the Olympics. In spite of their age and inexperience, only 2 teams stood between them and Olympic gold. The first was the mighty Soviets, whose team consisted of seasoned world-class players who just a year earlier had soundly defeated the National Hockey League's All-Star team. The last time the Soviets had played these Americans in an exhibition game, the Soviets dominated 10-3. Sports commentators openly remarked that the only thing that could keep the Soviets from winning the gold would be if the ice melted. But the Americans, led by their captain Mike Eruzione, had other ideas. As the game got underway, the Soviets quickly scored, and by the end of the second period, led 3-2. A little after 8 minutes into the third period, Mark Johnson's goal tied the game. And then with just 10 minutes left to play, Mike Eruzione fired a shot past his defender to give the Americans the lead. The last seconds of the game tell it all.
There, the puck is still loose. 11 seconds. You've got 10 seconds. The countdown going on right now. Morrow up to Silk. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
For Newsmax TV, I'm Bill Curtis, and this is an American Moment.